Hello. Thank you for always being intrigued by them. I was debating whether to put the model on or not, but I think I'll just put on the model again, you know, just to make it all consistent. Anyways, thank you for joining me today. How are you? Mhm. We're gonna be doing some. What's the word? Not really any stories like as insensitive as last time, but we'll be doing some nice Dr. Seuss stories. Yes. Hello, everyone. Hello, chat. I'm glad you're all here again. Before we begin, how is everyone? How are you all? Hi, we're vibing today. Hey, that's a really cute emote. Who is it from? Meredy? I see, I see. Alright, well, let's get into it just a little bit. We'll be doing some very short stories before we move on to our Dr. Seuss. A lot of them are, nursery rhymes, things you should know as a child, or you should hear at least once in your while. First thing, your voice is calming like a flowing river. Thank you. I'm glad it is. The next first one we'll be reading is Itsy Bitsy Spider. Rain or shine, the itsy bitsy spider is determined to climb up the water spout. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. I'm glad. It always makes me happy to hear when people like my voice. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. The itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. The itsy bitsy spider zipped up to a cat's head. Straight from there, he spun a web and landed on Stanton's head. Then he did a dance and spun all around, but the itsy bitsy spider was happier on the ground. And that was Itsy Bitsy Spider. Next thing we're gonna do, you know, Hickory Dickory Dock. Join Hickory and his extreme team of mice in this interactive nursery rhyme. It was wonderful, thank you, thank you. Hickory dickory dock. The mice go up the clock. Friend, I like the top hat. Thank you. It's a very nice top hat. I do like it too. The clock strikes one. The mouse come down. Hickory dickory dock. It's a good one. I like this hat a lot. Next, we have Humpty Dumpty. Very comfy and cozy. Please stay cozy. Stay comfy. That's what the stream's all about. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Dog cozy for sure. Actually, let me just do this a little bit. Here's that position. There you go. Alright. The last of our short stories that we're gonna go through. It's a little bit of a longer one. That's the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, a boy named Jack got himself into the biggest, most humongous heap of trouble ever. It all started when Jack's mama asked him to milk the old cow, but Jack decided he was tired of milking cows. No way, no how, I'm not milking this brown cow now, said Jack, and he decided to sell the old cow, so he'd never have to milk it again. Jack was on his way to the market to sell the cow when he came across a peddler. "Hi, Mr. Peddler," said Jack. "Where are you headed?" asked the peddler. "I'm going to sell my cow at the market," Jack answered. "Why sell your cow?" asked the peddler. "Trade her for beans." "Beans?" asked Jack. "Not just any kind of beans," said the peddler. "Magic beans." "What?" "What do they do?" asked Jack. They do magic," said the peddler. "Magic? Sold," said Jack, and he traded the cow for 3 magic beans. Jack got home and told his mama he had sold the cow, so he wouldn't have to milk her anymore. "Oh dear, you did what?" Jack's mama asked. "I sold it for magic beans." "You sold a cow for magic beans?" Jack's mama couldn't believe what Jack was telling her. "There's no such thing as magic beans," she said, as she threw the beans out the window. "Well, I did make them disappear, but that still doesn't make them magic." Suddenly the ground rumbled and began to shake. A magic beanstalk grew up right before their eyes. Jack saw it and immediately began to climb the tall beanstalk. "Get back here this instant," called Jack's mama. But Jack wasn't listening. Jack climbed up and up and up the beanstalk. At the top of the beanstalk, Jack found a giant castle. He walked up to the giant door, cracked it open, and went inside. Inside the castle, Jack saw the most amazing thing he had ever seen. It was a goose. But it wasn't just any old goose. This goose laid eggs made of gold. "That is so cool," thought Jack. "Think of all the things you could do with golden eggs." And then Jack got the worst idea he'd ever had. He was going to take the goose. Jack lifted the goose off of its perch. Just then, the biggest, most fearsome, and only giant Jack had ever seen came into the room. The giant saw that his goose wasn't in its usual spot. Fee, fi, fo, funch. If you took my goose, I'll eat you for lunch. Oh no, thought Jack. That giant's gonna eat me. I've got to get out of here without him seeing me. Quietly and carefully, Jack took the goose and made his way towards the door. He was almost out the room when, honk! The goose cried out. The giant spotted Jack. Fee, fi, fo, fummy. Give that back or I'll call my mummy, roared the giant. Ah! Screamed Jack. He ran towards the beanstalk. Jack ran as quickly as he could down the beanstalk, but the giant was following close behind. Jack put his feet back on the ground. The giant picked up Jack in his enormous hands. Fee, fi, fo, fummy. I bet you taste yum, yum, yummy. Give that back or I'll call my mummy. That's correct, Kason. Just as the giant was about to eat Jack, the ground began to shake. And there, standing right behind the giant, was an even bigger, taller, more humongous lady giant. Two giants, thought Jack. They'll eat me now for sure. Put that boy down, Willifred, the giant mama told her son. The giant put Jack back down on the ground. Now what have I told you? She asked. Don't eat other children. That's But he took my goose, cried the giant. Just then, Jack's mama came out of the farmhouse. What on earth is going on here? She asked. Well, Jack began. There was this castle, and inside was the coolest goose ever. It lays golden eggs. As I was taking it, this giant kid came in and was all fee, fi, fo, fum. And then You mean you took this boy's goose? Jack's mom interrupted. Yeah, but it lays golden eggs. Jack paused and thought about it. Huh, now that you mention it, I guess that wasn't very nice, said Jack. Jack looked at the giant. I'm sorry I took your goose. I know I shouldn't take things that don't belong to me. That's okay. I suppose I should have asked you to give me back the goose without trying to eat you. I'm sorry too. Hey, do you want to play baseball? Jack and the giant became good friends, using the beanstalk to visit each other whenever they wanted. You know, Jack said, if it weren't for those 3 magic beans, I never would have learned how to play giant baseball. You're right, said the giant. I'd say the whole adventure was a huge success. Honestly, when I picked this one up, I didn't think it was going to be this version of Jack of the Beanstalk. I thought it was going to be the normal one, but I think this is fun altogether. Thank you for the bonks again. And hello everyone that joined. We got through our short stories and we're going to be moving on to Dr. Seuss books now. Alright, so the first one we'll read is Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. Are y'all ready? Yes, my children. Let me lull you to sleep with good lessons and wonderful readings. Congratulations! Today is your day. You're off to great places. you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guy who will decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, look 'em over with care. About some you'll say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not so good street. And you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. Out there, things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsie as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along, you'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say, but sadly it's true, that bang ups and hang ups can happen to you. You can get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on, you'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down from the lurch with an unpleasant bump, and the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're darked. A place you could sprain both your elbow and shin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? How much can you lose? How much can you win? And if you go in, should you turn left or right? Or right and 3/4? Or maybe not quite. Or go around back and sneak in from behind? Simple, it's not. I'm afraid you will find for a mind maker upper to make up his mind. You can get so confused that you'll start in to race down long-winded roads at a breaknecking pace and grind on for miles across weirdish wild space, headed, I fear, towards a most useless place, the waiting place. Or people just waiting, waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or just waiting around for a yes or no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone's just waiting. Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for wind to fly a kite, or waiting around for a Friday night, or waiting perhaps for their Uncle Jack, or a pot to boil, or a better break, or a string of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a wig of curls, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting. No, that's not for you. Somehow you'll escape. Although waiting and staying, you'll find the bright places where boom bands are playing. With banner flip-flapping, once more you'll ride high, ready for anything under the sky. Ready, because you're that kind of guy. Oh, the places you'll go, there is fun to be done. There are points to be scored, there are games to be won. And the magical things you can do with that ball will make you the winningest winner of all. Hey, you'll be famous as famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you win on TV. Except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too. Games you can't win, because you'll play against you. All alone, whether you like it or not. Alone would be something you'll be quiet a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There's some down the road, between hither and yon, that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go. Though the weather be foul, on you will go, though your enemies prowl. On you will go, through the hack and cracks howl. Onward up many frightening creeks, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. And on you will hike, and I know you'll hike far and face up to your problems wherever they are. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot with your left. And will you succeed? Yes, yes you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So, be your name Boxbum or Bixby or Bray, or Mordecai Alivan Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today's your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. And that was Dr. Seuss, Oh the Places You'll Go. Thank you everyone for staying for that one. How did you like it? Did you read this book as a kid? Please let me know some of your experiences with the Dr. Seuss library, so to speak. Honestly, this is one of my very favorite books from his series. It's a very motivational one. I just like it's very good lessons, you know? You have your highs, you have your lows. But, oh, the places you'll go. Hi, Guy Dude. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Of course you can request. What would you like to hear? Anything from there? Well, who am I to say no? Let's see here. Let's do... um... We are going to be reading some very, very interesting SpongeBob stories. At request from Guy Dude Fellow. Let's do this one. Let's Get Squiddy by Hewu. It has 1.7k views and 12-star like. Actually, yeah, let's do Let's Get Squiddy. Let's Get Squiddy by Warren Alexa. Squidward mopily walked into the Krusty Krab and let out a distressed breath. He wailed, tears forming in his eyes. Ahoy there, mateys, Mr. Krabs said, walking out from his office with heaps of money in his hands. Oi, Squidward, what be bothering you today? Squidward turned his head to face Mr. Krabs. It's SpongeBob. The squid's voice trailed off with uncertainty. What about him? The crab man asked eagerly, dropping his big heap of money on the ground. Squidward walked to the cash register as Mr. Krabs started to pick up his fallen money. His thick ass barely being contained in his brand new booty shorts Pearl got him for his 50th birthday. Squidward placed his hand tentacle on the cash register and looked into the distance. I don't want to talk about it. His slightly moist side orbs became very moist as he started slobbing. You sure seem very sad, Squid Boy. Are you sure you're okay? Squidward didn't answer. He wasn't okay. He wiped his tears from his eyes and started getting to work. Just then, the door to the Krusty Krab flew open. Squidward's head shot up and prepared to greet the customer. Welcome to the Krusty Krab. How can I help? He stopped talking once he realized who had walked through the door. It was SpongeBob. A blush grew across Squidward's face as he quickly turned his head away so he wouldn't have to stare SpongeBob in the eyes. Hey, Mr. Carbs, SpongeBob said gleefully with a laugh. Sorry, I'm latte. Mr. Krabs stopped picking up his money from the ground to look at the sponge. Like Squidward is an emotional squid that hides feelings from the world. He is. He's a tsundere squid. He hides behind a very tough exterior, but he's a very soft person. Oi there! How you been? I'm doing fine, SpongeBob said with a sigh, as he started to make his way towards the kitchen. Squidward's heart was pounding. How could the sponge act as if everything was fine? He placed his tentacle hand on the side of the cash register to steady himself. How could anything ever be the same again? One day earlier. Squidward checked his reflection in the mirror and adjusted his tie. Here it goes. Squidward checked himself out one more time in the mirror before taking a deep breath and walking out of the door. Although SpongeBob lived next door to the squid, the trek to his house felt like an eternity. Squidward knocked on the door and waited. After 15 seconds, he knocked again. Curiously, he turned the doorknob. Surprised to see it open, he entered the room, his heart beating at the speed of light, only to hear a quickly breathing SpongeBob in the other room. Squidward slowly walked towards the door, where the mysterious noises were coming from, not thinking of anything of it first. He proceeded down the hall. He then suddenly heard what sounded like a sneeze. He opened the door to his room and saw SpongeBob splayed on his bed while shouting, "Wank!" As soon as the word escaped his mouth, his rock-hard nose splattered white semen across his lower abdomen, pooling in his belly button hole. Squidward let out a gasp after seeing the sinful acts unfold. SpongeBob, nar. I think that deserves a bonk for once. Although he was shocked, his nose was becoming hard as a tree. He stepped back and shook, putting his hand on the doorframe for balance. Squidward! SpongeBob shouted, locking eyes with the naughty squid who had broken into his home. He quickly scrambled for a nearby pillow to cover his slowly descending nose hole, contrasting the slowly arising nose of Squidward standing in front of him. An ad? Okay, we'll wait for the ad. Is this what you wanted, guy dude? Is this everything you wanted and more? Yeah, just let me know whenever the ad's done and we can keep going. Oh my god, Wattpad has such many bad stories. Ida and Kaneki? Crazy. Alistair and Angel? Some Has Been Hotel fan makes? Crazy. Continue? Alright. I. I. Woodward tried to find words to explain his presence before walking out the front door. Back to the Krusty Krab. Squidward jolted up from the sound of the door to the kitchen being slammed shut. That sponge sure be acting strange today, Mr. Krab stated, having finally picked up all the money he had previously dropped on the ground. His tight booty shorts had ripped at the seam, showing the hot pink thong he was wearing. He showed up 2 minutes late. I'm sure it's nothing, Mr. Krabs, Squidward said, fiddling around with the cash register to soothe his shaking hand tentacles. You're probably right, Mr. Krabs said, shuffling with the big pile of money in his hands and returning to his office. A single $1 bill floated down from the stack of money, settling on the ground. Squidward let out a sigh. He didn't know what to do. Ever since he had seen SpongeBob touching himself, he couldn't get the sight out of his head. That night. Bye, Mr. Krabs, Squidward sighed as he fiddled with the buttons and knobs on the cash register. Mr. Krabs opened the door to the Krusty Krab and stepped out into the void. Bye-bye, Squidward. Make sure to lock up when you're done feeling sorry for yourself. Aye, aye, Captain, Squidward said as he forced a false smile. Mr. Krabs gave him a reassuring grin and submitting himself to the night, started his trek home. We're halfway done, guys. There's still another half to go. Squidward grabbed the broom mopily and walked into the middle of the room to start sweeping. Suddenly, the kitchen door flung open, indicating that SpongeBob was through with throwing out today's garbage. Ahoy there, Squidward, SpongeBob said ominously, leaning against the kitchen door. Oh, hi, Squidward said, a blush spreading across his cheeks and across his nose. Squidward, I know what you saw. I also know you know what you saw. I feel like I've sinned deeply requesting this. You may have. This is a very large sin you have. You curse us all. But for you, guy dude, I'll bear the world's sins. Thank you for the box. I don't know what you're talking about. Squidward stammered. His sweeping motions becoming more vigorous and jagged with every sweep of his hand. SpongeBob slowly moves his legs, one in front of the other, a slight grin on his mouth. Once the air between SpongeBob's engorged nose and the rump on the front of Squidward's pants had disappeared, it was evident what was about to happen to the annoying squid. Suddenly, without warning, SpongeBob took his nimble, bony hand and seized Squidward's nose. Gugh! Squidward exclaimed. SpongeBob! What are you doing? This is this is a fanfic. This is Wattpad. It's written like fanfic. I've known about your feelings for me for a long time now, SpongeBob said ominously. I've also shared those same feelings. SpongeBob started to massage Squidward's limp nose, slowly becoming more erect. SpongeBob leaned close to Squidward's ear. I saw your nose when you saw me wank. Oh, I'm sorry, SpongeBob. I saw your nose when you saw me wanking, he said with a moan in his voice. I know I arouse you. Squidward's face turned bright red. It, it's not what you think. Don't try and deny it, SpongeBob said. And besides, you make me hot too, Squiddy boy. And suddenly, all in an instant, SpongeBob's hand finally picked up the pace, rubbing the shaft of Squidward's fully erect nose. It very much turned Squidward on to see SpongeBob on his tiptoes, striving to pleasure the squid at his own expense. As SpongeBob's hand shook the nose of the squid, he realized that his hands felt awkward just dangling there as SpongeBob winked him, slowly moving his tentacle hand to SpongeBob's already hard nose and started to wink him off. Oh, Squidward, SpongeBob exclaimed with a moan, full well knowing Squidward was also reaching his climax. I, I'm going to splurge. Just as the words escaped SpongeBob's thin, chapped lips, a small opening in his nose appeared, leaking a yellow liquid. Then, a second later, a eruption of sponge semen was released, appearing inside of Squidward's mouth. With a big boy gulp, Squidward swallowed all of SpongeBob's yummy sea boys. After he swallowed it, he let out a splurge of his own, releasing a scream of pleasure as his yummy turquoise cummy yummy escaped his nostrils. SpongeBob! Squidward! Both the squid and the sponge collapsed on the crusty floor, out of breath, exhausted from their last round of the cummies. SpongeBob sat up and started winking Squidward's nose. Oh my, Squiddy boy, don't think we're done yet. But Spongy, I don't think I can queef anymore, Squidward said as he struggled to keep from moaning with the intense pleasure being inflicted on him. Don't worry about that. I can't quote this, but I want to. Guy, dude, please. SpongeBob said with a slight smirk as he turned Squidward's ass to face him. Please, keep the bonks going. SpongeBob! Squidward exclaimed. Don't worry about it, SpongeBob said, using his pre-existing sea boys as a lube to insert his elongated nose into Squidward's anus. Ah, oh, sheesh! Squidward cried as the sponge traversed further inside of him. SpongeBob slowly started to move his nose back and forth inside of Squidward, going slow at first, but gradually picking up speed as time went on. As his nose pumped itself inside of the squid's anus, his mouth gradually filled with anus juice as the base of his face hit the squid's butt. Gee, Squidward, SpongeBob said, anus juice spilling out of his mouth. Your ass smells like poo. Shut up, you dirty sponge. Pleasure me more, Squidward exclaimed, letting out a loud moan. Squidward's nose was no longer limp, but fully erect. Squidward started to wink himself while SpongeBob continued to plow his ass. I think I'm almost at my limit, Squidward, SpongeBob exclaimed, more anus juice spilling out of his mouth. I am too. I'm going to come. Don't hold back. Just as the words escaped Squidward's mouth with a moan, he ejaculated all over the Krusty Krab floor as SpongeBob released his yellow sea boys into Squidward's anus, mixing with the pre-existing anus juice. I don't think I have anything left in me, SpongeBob whispered, falling into Squidward's arms. Neither do I, Squidward moaned, kissing SpongeBob. I I have no passion or dignity left, and I don't know how to end this. See you on the flip side, my boys. And that was Let's Get Squiddy by Warren Alexa. A request from Guy Dude Fellow. I hope you're happy. I hope you're satisfied. Sounds like what I listened to before bed. All this. The series is called Bedtime Stories for a reason, after all. Oh, Guy, thank you for the gifted sub. Appreciate it. Is this your apology for making Kason have to listen to all of that? And remember, as always, with this series, you're more than welcome to request whatever you want for me to read. This is for you guys to have a very nice and relaxing night. Something to go to bed with. If it's cursed, if it's R18, doesn't matter to me. Whatever you want, I'll read it. Request another one? Well, I will leave that up to you. In the meantime, let's go ahead and continue with another Cat and Dr. Seuss book. This time, Cat in the Hat. The sun did not shine. It was too wet to play. So we sat in the house all that cold, cold, wet day. I sat there with Sally. We sat there, we two. And I said, how I wish we had something to do. Too wet to go out, and too cold to play ball. So we sat in the house, we did nothing at all. So all we could do was sit, 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 sit. And we did not like it, not one little bit. And then something went bump. How that bump made us jump. We looked, then we saw him step in on the mat. We looked, and we saw him, the cat in the hat. And he said to us, why do you sit there like that? I know it is wet, and the sun is not sunny, but we can have lots of good fun, that is funny. I know some good games we could play, said the cat in the hat. I know some new tricks, said the cat in the hat. A lot of good tricks, I'll show them to you. Your mother will not mind at all if I do. Then Sally and I did not know what to say. Our mother was out of the house for the day. But our fish said, no, no, make that cat go away. Tell that cat in the hat, you do not want to play. He should not be here. He should not be about. He should not be here when your mother is out. Now, have no fear, said the cat. My tricks are not bad, said the cat in the hat. Why, we can have lots of good fun, if you wish, with the game that I call Up, Up, Up with a Fish. Put me down, said the fish, this is no fun at all. Put me down, said the fish, I do not wish to fall. Have no fear, said the cat, I will not let you fall. I will hold you up high as I stand on a ball, with a book on one hand and a cup on my hat. But that is not all I can do, said the cat. Look at me now, said the cat. With a cup and a cake on the top of my hat, I can hold up to 2 books. I can hold up the fish, and a little toy ship, and some milk on a dish. And look, I can hop up and down on the ball, but that is not all. Oh no, that is not all. Look at me now. It is fun to have fun, but you have to know how. I am ashamed of myself, may I request? Yes, you can request one. Feel free. We can put a cat on the hat on pause for now. It's more SpongeBob stories, y'all. Okay. How long is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why is it 9 chapters long? Why are there chapters, first of all? But okay. This was a request, and we'll go do it. No idea, now read. What are you doing, Mr. Krabs? By Family Friendly FFS. SpongeBob's POV. I was currently working the night shift at the Krusty Krab with Squidward. I was busy making Krabby Patties until I heard Squidward say something. Hurry up, he yelled. Okay, I yelled back. Squidward has never liked me, but I always try my best with him. I'm a bit jealous of him, though. Mr. Krabs always talks to him. I apologize in advance, as you should. Why am I jealous? I'm simply in love with my boss. While I was busy daydreaming, he came out of his office. He was so handsome. I wanted to kiss those red lips. 1 hour later. Everyone except Mr. Krabs and I were gone. I was a bit nervous. I was stuck in a building with my beloved crush. I was cleaning up the place until I heard something. It sounded like moaning. Was Mr. Krabs fucking someone? I was incredibly jealous. Also, hello everyone who just joined right now. We're currently reading Wattpad SpongeBob fanfictions. These are requests from my lovely viewers. So, as you know, bedtime story traditions go, I read stories that I picked, but you are more than welcome to suggest or request ones yourself that you want to listen to, and I'll always prioritize those. So right now, we're reading Kayson's pick. Hi, welcome. Hi, Sachan. Yeah, you came in at a very interesting time. Oh no, Minori-chan, you're here too. Hi, hello. I'm sorry in advance for what you two are about to hear. We are reading SpongeBob fanfictions off of Wattpad right now. Where was I? I was incredibly jealous. I decided to take a peek inside of his office. As bedtime story, tradition goes, my audience is more than able to request stories that they want me to read. And this just happened to be one of them. I decided to take a little small peek inside of his office. He wasn't fucking someone, he was jacking off. And he was moaning my name. I was turned on. I was busy rubbing myself and I didn't notice that he was staring at me. We made eye contact. Mr. Krabs, what are you doing? I said with a sexy voice. He smirked at me. Come here, boy, he said with a flirty tone. I came over to him and slowly rubbed his length. He closed his eyes and leaned his head back. I started to jack him faster. He was moaning uncontrollably. I loved it. Mr. Krabs finally exploded. His mayonnaise was dripping onto my fingertips. He looked at me and smiled. That was amazing, boy, he said. I slowly bent over. I let his big ding ding dong inside of me. It hurt so bad, but I wanted to do it for him. Soon, the pain faded away, and all I felt was pleasure. I was moaning loudly. The feeling of his length pounding against me was amazing. You're so tight, boy, he said in between groans. Suddenly, we heard the door open, and Squidward was looking at us with a shocked expression. Chapter 2. 3 is a charm. Squidward's POV. I was working my delightful shift at the Krusty Krab. Then I started to hear odd noises. What the? I said to myself. It was coming from Mr. Krabs' office. It sounded like moaning. I opened the door to reveal Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob smashing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. SpongeBob's POV. Squidward looked so shocked. I looked at the beautiful man that was still inside of me. Squidward, my boy, would you like to join us? Mr. Krabs said with a smirk. I could see Squidward was hesitating. For some reason, I wanted him to join us as well. Oh, come on, it'll be fun, I said with a flirty tone. He started to take off his shirt. I never noticed that his tentacles looked so hot. Mr. Krabs continued to pound into me. Squidward got close to me and started to put one of his tentacles into my holes. One by one, he inserted his tentacles into me. It felt amazing. Both of them were going hard, and I loved it. Mr. Krabs released his fluids deep inside of me, and Squidward did the same with his pitch black ink. That was amazing. Thank you for the 100 cheer. Thank you for the bits. I'm sorry, Minori-chan. It is painful and I cringe. That was amazing, said in between deep breaths. Squidward, me boy, how about you go home? Mr. Krabs said. He nodded and left the room. Thanks for that little session, Squidward said as he left the room. Once he was gone, Mr. Krabs looked at me differently. With more love, perhaps? SpongeBob, I think I love you more than me money, he said with a slight smile. Love, can I still do it? That's a funny joke, he yelled. I'm not joking, he said. He loves me? My boss actually loves me? This is so amazing. I've always felt something for Mr. Krabs, and now he loves me. So does that mean you and I are together? I asked hesitantly. Yes, me boy. We are together. Officially scared everyone away. That voice, I'm impressed. Thank you. And I'm sorry, Minori-chan, you can't unhear it anymore. Chapter 3. You like Krabby Patties, don't you? Last night. Patrick's POV. I entered the Krusty Krab to see my best friend, SpongeBob. I was planning to ask him out. The thing is that I like him. I was confident about the whole thing until I heard something. It sounded like moaning. Can't be. It sounded like SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs. I slowly walked to the door and peeked in. There they were, fucking each other. I slowly walked away, heartbroken. SpongeBob's POV. I couldn't stop thinking about that special night with Mr. Krabs. I kept touching myself when I was thinking about him. Everything about him was so sexy. His body, his weird-ass eyes, his smile. It was all so perfect. I loved him with all of my heart. I then realized it was time to go to work. I was excited. At the Krusty Krab. After riding my bike for what seemed like hours, I finally reached the Krusty Krab. As I walked in, I saw Squidward talking to Mr. Krabs. Or more like flirting with him. There. Squidward started to lean in. I watched him as he softly kissed my man. Mr. Krabs, I said with anger in my voice. My boy, that's not what you think, he said. I walked away from him. I believe he did this to me. I ran away from the Krusty Krab and went back home. I cried on my bed for hours. Why did he do this to me? I heard a knock from downstairs. He wants to be left alone, but it might be Patrick, my best friend. I went downstairs and opened the door. It was one of the two people I didn't want to see, Mr. Krabs. SpongeBob, listen to me, he said with sadness. Even though I was angry at him, I wanted to comfort him. He kissed me, SpongeBob. I didn't kiss him. He has a point. I wrapped my arms around him and gave him a warm hug. Mr. Krabs passionately kissed me. His kisses were always so amazing. The kiss got more and more heated. I slowly led him to my bedroom. I was ready to feel his love. We took off each other's clothes. Mr. Krabs' ding ding dong was so beautiful. I bent over for him. He entered me. Without giving me a chance to adjust, he started to move fast and hard. We were both moaning loudly. He felt extraordinary. You like Krabby Patties, don't you? I said. I heard my door creak a bit. I looked over to reveal Gary! I pushed Mr. Krabs off of me. He was too young to see this. I put on my clothes and carried Gary downstairs to get him some food. I can't believe he saw me do that. Chapter 4. SpongeBob POV. I was trying to talk to Gary, but he was petrified. He wouldn't even meow at me. I was so disappointed in myself. Can't believe I left the goddamn door open. Realistically, this is hard to imagine. This is very hard to imagine. I just couldn't resist Mr. Krabs' juicy ass cheeks. They tasted like watermelons. Before I knew it, it was time to go to the Krusty Krab, where I would see the love of my life. At the Krusty Krab. I finally made it to the Krusty Krab. Suddenly, I felt nervous about something. I felt like I shouldn't go inside the place. I slowly walked into the Krusty Krab. Wait, it can't be. It sounds... My mother went in my room asking what I'm listening to. Nar. What did you tell her? It sounds like Mr. Krabs. I walked into his office and saw him and Squidward. Mr. Krabs, what's going on? Nothing, just silence. Oh, true. Both of them were looking at me. Squidward was smirking. SpongeBob, it isn't what you think. I ran out of the Krusty Krab crying. I was devastated. How could Mr. Krabs do this to me? Mr. Krabs POV. I was working in my office, waiting for SpongeBob to come, when all of a sudden I saw Squidward. He had me money in his hands. What are you doing with me money? I asked him with pure anger in his voice. I'll give it back to you, but only if you fuck me. This was the hardest decision I've ever had to make. I loved my money. It was my life. But I didn't want any squid coochie. It probably stank. After thinking about it, I slowly started to take off my clothes. Squidward got on top of me and started to ride me. I was right. It did stink. Suddenly I saw him, SpongeBob. Could I forget him? Chapter 5, A New Love. SpongeBob's POV. Back at home, I was crying. I was in disbelief. I couldn't believe Mr. Krabs did this to me. Was I not good enough for him? Did I do something wrong? Are my holes not tight enough? Suddenly, I heard a voice. SpongeBob, are you in there? It was my best friend Patrick. After everything I've seen today, I needed to talk to him. I led him into my prickly pineapple house and told him about everything as he cried my eyes out. He looked at me with sadness in his eyes and a bit of something else. I felt his warm, soft hand slowly caress my arm. I felt safe. I felt comfortable. I felt loved. SpongeBob, this might not be the best time to say this, but I love you. I always have. Even when I do the most stupid things, you still somehow accept me and appreciate me. I truly do love you. I couldn't believe it. My best friend was in love with me? Patrick, As I was about to finish my sentence, I felt a pair of lips softly kissing me. I love Mr. Krabs, but he clearly doesn't love me. Patrick might be the one for me. This is very soft. I like this part. You know what? This part is good. This is the only part I like. I slowly kissed him back and wrapped my arms around him. He slowly started to grip my ass cheeks, just kidding, I hate this part, and grind his pink dick on my coochie. I knew that this would be the start of a very long night. Chapter 6, The Starfish and the Sponge. Do I really hate it? I liked it. It was fluff. I really like fluff. Romance stories like this. It's also angsty. I like angsty fanfictions. I woke up from the sound of Gary meowing and looked over to see Patrick naked beside me. I smelled at the thought of last night. Patrick's blah blah felt amazing inside of my white holes. Suddenly I remembered Mr. Krabs. I still loved him, but I have Patrick now, and I know he will take good care of me. I decided to skip work today since I want to spend time with my new love. I didn't want to see that smelly crab. I noticed that Patrick was beginning to wake up, and I kissed him on the nipple. Oh, good morning, SpongeBob, Patrick said sleepily. Bye! Oh shit. Good morning, Patrick. How are you feeling? Say with a seductive smirk on my face. A smile began to creep onto Patrick's face. I leaned in to kiss him when I suddenly hear a knock on my door. He quickly got dressed and went to see who it is. It was the person I never wanted to see again in my entire life. Mr. Krabs. SpongeBob, my boy, what you saw last night was a misunderstanding. He stopped speaking as he noticed something behind me. What the hell are you doing here? I turned my head and saw Patrick with an angry look on his face. I'm staying loyal to the person that I love, unlike your unloyal ass. Patrick began to smirk deviously. SpongeBob, why is he here? Mr. Krabs said with a sad and confused look on his face. He's taking care of me. Patrick and I were together last night and gave me his ding ding dong, I said before I slammed the door in Mr. Krabs' face. As I was walking away from the door, I heard Mr. Krabs sobbing and yelling my name. I felt bad, but I didn't want to be hurt again. Chapter 7. Row Raggy. It has been 2 weeks since I last saw or even talked to Mr. Krabs. He would try to call me, but I would never answer. And I haven't been showing up to work at the Krusty Krab either, even though I'll probably get fired. I was starting to run a bit low on money, and I needed to find a different place to work at. As I was searching for a place to apply for another job, I saw him, Mr. Krabs. I had to admit I did miss him. His warm smile, his rough kisses, his big and mighty cock. Even though he broke my heart, a part of me still loves him. But I have Patrick now, and he makes me feel like no other. I started to turn the other direction to avoid being seen by him, but it was too late. He saw me. SpongeBob. SpongeBob, please talk to me, he said with a sad and pleading voice. What you saw that night wasn't what you think, I swear. Just please let me explain. SpongeBob, my boy, please, he yelled. I know what I saw that night, Mr. Krabs. What is there to explain? I yelled at him while sobbing. Squidward tried to take me money, and he wouldn't give it back unless I smashed his smelly squid coochie. Now, friend, is this part enjoyable? You know what, this part's pretty enjoyable. SpongeBob, you know how much I care about my money, but I'm willing to change for you so that this never happens again. It's always the money. I suddenly felt sympathetic towards him. He has always loved his money, and he would do anything for it. So it makes sense that he would do something like that to protect it. And he said that he would be willing to change. Just for me. I wanted to run into his arms and kiss him. Then I remembered Patrick. He was there for me during these past 2 weeks, when I was feeling so miserable and sad. I didn't know what to do. SpongeBob, there you are, said a voice from behind me. I turned around and there he was. Patrick Star. He smiled brightly at me, but it changed into a frown when he saw Mr. Krabs. What are you doing here? Leave SpongeBob alone, Patrick yelled with anger in his voice. I was explaining to SpongeBob what happened that night that he caught me with Squidward, so it would be very nice if you would back off, me boyfriend, Mr. Krabs yelled back. Your boyfriend? Did you forget that me and him smashed? And that I was the one who has always been there for him? Mr. Krabs started to punch him. I didn't want this. I never wanted this. I love both of them, and I don't want them to fight. Stop! I yelled. Please stop fighting. I can't take this, I said while crying. SpongeBob. Choose, Patrick said while he was trying to catch his breath. Oh, wait, what? I said, confused. Choose between me and Mr. Krabs. Chapter 8. The Decision. I stuttered. I couldn't believe that they were making me choose between them. I loved them both, and I didn't want to lose either of them. Without thinking, I ran away from both of them. I couldn't decide who to choose between, knowing that one of them would be left heartbroken. Once I made it to my home, I locked my door and sat on my chair in front of the TV. A week had passed, and I still had not made my decision. Mr. Krabs was my first love, and he always will be. But Patrick has always been there for me as my best friend and as my lover. As I was lost in my thoughts, I heard a sudden knock on my door. I knew it either had to be Mr. Krabs or Patrick. I hesitated for a moment, but I opened the door slowly to reveal Patrick. He looked at me with love, and adoration in his eyes. At that moment, I had made my decision. Patrick is the man for me. I know he loves me, and that he'll never leave me. He was my everything. How could I not choose him? He slowly started to lean in, and so did I. Our lips touched one another softly. As we were having our lovely moment, I heard a familiar voice. SpongeBob, me boy. He said sadly as he realized what was happening. I see that you made your decision, he said with tears in his eyes. Mr. Krabs, I'm so sorry, I said apologetically. I hated seeing him like this, even though he did break my heart. You don't have to be sorry. I was the one who messed up in the first place. He was crying at this point. Come on, SpongeBob, let's go inside, he said as he grabbed my hand to pull me up inside my home. I looked at Mr. Krabs one last time before Patrick closed the door. Patrick and I fricked for hours after that. The day after, I woke up from my deep sleep, and I saw Patrick sleeping peacefully beside me. I smiled at the thought of how good his ding ding dong was last night. So amazing. I went downstairs and I decided to watch some TV while I was waiting for Patrick to wake up. As I was switching through channels, something caught my eye, the news channel. It showed Mr. Krabs on the edge of a cliff, ready to jump. The final chapter, fun. I immediately started running to the cliff that Mr. Krabs was at. Even though I chose Patrick, I couldn't let him die. I needed to save him at all costs. After what felt like weeks of running, I made it to Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs, wait! Please don't jump! I yelled with sorrow in my voice. He turned to look at me, and his eyes softened. Me boy, what's the point of living if you don't love me? You're my world, SpongeBob, he said while he was choking on his tears. But there's so much more to your life than just me. Think about the Krusty Krab. Think about all your money. Think about all the people he could break besides me. Like Squidward, Plankton, Larry, I said. Mr. Krabs looked down at the bottom of the cliff and then back at me. I knew that he loved me so much, but I couldn't love him back. I reached my hand out to him and he stared at it for a few moments. You could even have a threesomes with Patrick and I. After I said that, he slowly grabbed my hand and we smiled at each other. Yeah, and I have a threesome with you boys today. Without a second thought, I nodded and I led him back to my place. Patrick was surprisingly okay with us having a threesome. We all walked to my bedroom and they both immediately started touching me. Mr. Krabs, remember, SpongeBob is mine, not yours. Don't think that it will fall for you again after this, Patrick said with a bit of a rude tone. Mr. Krabs simply nodded and we all continued with our naughty activities. We all started to take our clothes off to admire each other's bodies. Mr. Krabs inserted his long, red, naughty stick in my mouth, while Patrick put his ding-dong in my coochie. What an odd turning point at the end. Very interesting. Hydrate, thank you. Yeah. We all became moaning messes within seconds. And that was just the beginning of a very long night. 1 year later. Everything in my life was perfect. Especially because Patrick recently asked me to marry him and I said yes, of course. We're even talking about having babies. Mr. Krabs stopped asking for threesomes about 3 months ago, but he still keeps in touch with us, especially since I still work at the Krusty Krab. He has been coming over to babysit Gary whenever Patrick and I go on a date, though, and Gary always seems a bit sore when we both come back home. Patrick and I had just finished another special date of ours, and we were heading home. As I was about to open the door to my home, I heard something strange. It was moaning. I quietly opened the door to reveal Mr. Krabs sliding his ring ding dong in and out of Gary. Mr. Krabs, I had no idea you were into snails, I said while I was smirking. He seemed startled by the sound of my voice, but he was relieved once he realized that I wasn't angry. I guess that means Mr. Krabs had finally found someone to love, frick, and impregnate. And that, my dear friends, was the end of my beautiful love story with my boss. Even though I broke up with him, our love story taught me a very important lesson. Crabs are insanely good in bed, but they're not so good at being in a relationship. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anywhere and anytime at all. Down here in the deep blue sea. And that, everyone, was I'm in Love with My Boss, SpongeBob X Meister Krabs fanfic by Family Friendly FFS. Kason, thank you very much for requesting this. This was a nightmare. This is long. You do have regret. Hello everyone, we're back. Did y'all miss me? Everyone, thank you very much for being so patient. Did everyone get comfy? Readjust themselves after that roller coaster of a story? I think we'll just finish it off for tonight. We'll just finish it off with Cat in the Hat. And then, next time we do a bedtime stories, we'll pick a nice good long book to read through. Alright, are you ready? Look at me, look at me, look at me now. It is fun to have fun, but you have to know how. I can hold up the cup and the milk and the cake. I can hold up these books and the fish on a rake. I can hold a toy ship and a little toy man. And look, with my tail I can hold a little red fan. I can fan with the fan as I hop on the ball. But that is not all. Oh no, that is not all. That is what the cat said. Then he fell on his head. He came down with a bump from up there on the ball, and Sally and I, we all saw the things fall. And our fish came down too. He fell into a pot. He said, "Do I like this? Oh no, I do not." "That is not a good game," said our fish as he lit. "No, I do not like it, not one little bit." "Now look what you did," said the fish to the cat. "Now look at this house, look at this, and look at that." He sank our toy ship, sank it deep into the cake. "You shook up our house, and you bent our new rake. You should not be here when our mother is not. You get out of this house," said the fish in the pot. "But I like to be here, oh I like it a lot," said the cat in the hat to the fish in the pot. "I will not go away, I do not wish to go." "And so," said the cat in the hat, so, I will show you another good game that I know." I've been wearing a suit all day and now I'm too lazy to take it off. Nar. Take it off, get comfy, take care of yourself. Now that I'm lying down, I can't get up. No! And then he ran out, and then fast as a fox, the cat in the hat came back in with a box. A big redwood box, it was shut with a hook. "Now look at this trick," said the cat. "Take a look." Then he got up on top with the tip of his hat. "I call this game Fun in a Box," said the cat. "In this box are two things I'll show to you now. You will like these two things," said the cat with a bow. "I will pick up the hook, you will see something new. Two things, and I call them thing one and thing two. These things will not bite you, they want to have fun." Then out of the box came thing two and thing one. And they ran to us fast. They said, "How do you do? Would you like to shake hands with thing one and thing two?" And Sally and I did not know what to do, so we had to shake hands with thing one and thing two. We shook their two hands, but our fish said, "No, no, those things should not be in this house, make them go. They should not be here when your mother is not. Put them out," said the fish in a pot. "Have no fear, little fish," said the cat in the hat. "These things are good things," and he gave them a pat. "They are tame, oh so tame. They have come here to play, they will give you some fun on this wet, wet day." "Now here is a game they like," said the cat. "They like to fly kites," said the cat in the hat. "No, not in the house," said the fish in the pot. "They should not fly kites in a house, they should not. Oh, the things they will bump, oh, the things they will hit. Oh, I do not like it, not one little bit." Then Sally and I saw them run down the hall. We saw those two things bump their kites on the wall. Bump, thump, thump, bump, down the wall in the hall. Thing two and thing one, they ran up, they ran down. On the string of one kite, we saw Mother's new gown. Her gown with the dots that are pink, white, and red. Then we saw one kite bump on the head of her bed. Then those two things ran about, with big bumps, jumps, and kicks, and with hops and big thumps, and all kinds of bad tricks. And I said, I do not like the way they play. If Mother could see this, oh, what would she say? Then our fish said, look, look, and our fish shook with fear. Your mother is on her way home, do you hear? Oh, what will she do to us? What will she say? Oh, she will not like it to find us this way. So do something, fast, said the fish, do you hear? I saw her. Your mother is near. So as fast as you can, think of something to do. You will have to get rid of thing 1 and thing 2. So as fast as I could, I went after my net. And I said with my net, I can get them, I bet. I bet with my net, I can get those things yet. Then I let down my net, it came down with a plop. And I had them at last, those two things had to stop. Then I said to the cat, now you do as I say. You pack up those things and you take them away. Oh dear, said the cat, you do not like our game. Oh dear, what a shame, what a shame, what a shame. Then he shut up the things in the box with a hook, and the cat went away with a sad kind of look. That is good, said the fish, he has gone away. Yes, but your mother will come, she'll find this big mess. And this mess is so big and so deep and so tall, we cannot pick it up, there is no way at all. And then who was back in the house? Why, the cat. Have no fear of this mess, said the cat in the hat. I always pick up all my playthings, and so I'll show you another good trick that I know. Then we saw him pick up and all the things that were down. He picked up the cake and the rake and the gown and the milk and strings, and the book and the dish, and the fan and the cup and the ship and the fish. And he put them away. Then he said, that is that. And then he was gone with a tip of his hat. Then our mother came in and he said to us, did you have any fun? Tell me, what did you do? And Sally and I did not know what to say. Should we tell her the things that went on there that day? Should we tell her about it? No, what should we do? Well, what would you do if your mother asked you? And that was Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat. Everyone that was here, thank you very much for sticking by for a very, very interesting addition to our bedtime series. Oh, thank you for the bits. Osa, you've been baiting me too much. Make sure to save your money. Well, my darling little asteroids, that was all that I'll be offering you for today. I suppose to make up for a shorter bedtime story, I think I could do one song. One song long, one song is all. And you know, in honor of the kind of things that we were watching and that we read today, I think I'll do a SpongeBob song. A very good one, a very famous one, one that everyone likes. Are y'all ready? When I ripped my pants, I thought that I had everybody on my side, but I went and blew it all sky high. And now she won't even spare a passing glance, all just because I ripped my pants. When Big Larry came round just to put him down, SpongeBob turned into a clown. And no girl ever wants to dance with a fool who went and ripped his pants. I know I shouldn't mope around, I shouldn't curse, but the pain feels so much worse. 'Cause winding up with no one is a lot less fun than a burn from the sun. a sun in your bones. Now I learned a lesson I won't soon forget. Listen and you won't regret. Be true to yourself, don't miss your chance. And you won't end up like the fool who ripped his pants. Yeah. Don't be like the fool who went and ripped his pants. Stay true to yourself, don't miss your chance. Alright, well, on that note, my darling asteroids, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I hope you all found your little comforts somewhere in this stream, and always know that you always mean the most to me. And Father will always be there for you. Now, good night, sweet dreams, and as always, may the stars be your guiding light. Good night, everyone. I love you.